How the turtle saved his own life. A king once had a lake made in the courtyard for the young princes to play in. They swam about in it and sailed their boats and rafts on it. One day the king told them he had asked the men to put some fishes into the lake. Off the boys ran to see the fishes. Now, along the fishes there was a turtle. The boys were delighted with the fishes, but they had never seen a turtle, and they were afraid of it, thinking it was a demon. They ran back to their father, crying, "There's a demon on the bank of the lake." The king ordered his men to catch the demon and to bring it to the palace. When the turtle was brought in, the boy cried and ran away. The king was very fond of his son, so he ordered the men who had brought the turtle to kill it. "How shall we kill it?" they asked. "Pound it to powder," said someone. "Bake it in hot coals," said another. So one plan after another was spoken of. Then an old man who had always been afraid of the water said, "Throw the thing into the lake where it flows out over the rocks into the river. Then it will surely be killed." When the turtle heard what the old man said, he thrust out his head and asked, "Friend, what I have done that you should do such a dreadful thing as that to me? The other plans were bad enough, but to throw me into the lake, don't speak of such cruel thing." When the king heard what the turtle said, he told his men to take the turtle at once and throw it into the lake. The turtle laughed to himself as he slid away down the river to his old home. "Good," he said. "Those people do not know how safe I am in the water." The Merchant of Seri. There was once a merchant of Seri who sold brass and tinware. He went from town to town in company with another man who also sold brass and tinware. This man was greedy, getting all he could for nothing and giving as little as he could for what he bought. When they went into a town, they divided the streets between them. Each man went up and down the streets he had chosen, calling, "Tinware for sale, brass for sale." People came out to their doorsteps and bought or traded with them. In one house there lived a poor old woman and a granddaughter. The family had once been rich, but now the only thing they had left of all their riches was a golden bowl. The grandmother did not know it was a golden bowl, but she had kept this because her husband used to eat out of it in the old days. It stood on a shelf among other pots and pans and was not often used. The greedy merchant passed his house, calling, "Buy my water jars, buy my pans." The granddaughter said, "Oh, grandmother, do buy something for me." "My dear," said the old woman, "you are too poor to buy anything. I have not anything to trade even." "Grandmother, see what the merchant will give for the old bowl. We do not use that, and perhaps he will take it and give us something we want for it." The old man called the merchant and showed him the bowl, saying, "Will you take this, sir? Give the little girl here something for it." The greedy man took the bowl and scratched its side with the needle. Thus he found that it was a golden bowl. He hoped he could get it for nothing, so he said, "What is this worth?" "Not even a half penny." He threw the bowl on the ground and went away. By and by the merchant passed the house, for it was agreed that either merchant might go through any street which the other had left. He called, "Buy my water jars, buy my tinware, buy my brass." The little girl heard him and begged her grandmother to see what he would give for the bowl. "My child," said the grandmother, "the merchant who was just here threw the bowl on the ground and went away. I have nothing else to offer in trade." "But, grandmother," said the girl, "there was a cross man. This one looks pleasant. Ask him. Perhaps he'll give some little tin dish." "Call him then, and show it to him," said the old woman. As soon as the merchant took the bowl in his hands, he knew it was of gold. He said, "All that I have here is not worth so much as this bowl. It is a golden bowl. I am not rich enough to buy it." "But, sir, a merchant who passed here for a few moments ago threw it on the ground, saying it was not worth a half penny, and he went away," said the grandmother. "It was worth nothing to him. If you value it, take it, giving the little girl some dish she likes for it." But the merchant would not have it so. He gave the woman all the money he had and all his wares. "Give me but 8 pennies," he said. So he took the pennies and left. Going quickly to the river, he paid the boatman the 8 pennies to take him across the river. Soon the greedy merchant went back to the house where he had seen the golden bowl and said, "Bring that bowl to me, and I will give you something for it." "No," said the grandmother. "You said the bowl was worthless, but another merchant has paid a great price for it and taken it away. Then the greedy merchant was angry, crying out, "Through this other man I have lost a small fortune. This bowl was of gold." He ran down to the riverside, and seeing the other merchant in the boat out in the river, he cried, "Hallo, boatman, stop your boat." But the man in the boat said, "Don't stop." So he reached the city on the other side of the river and lived well for a time on the money the bowl bought him. A turtle who couldn't stop talking. A turtle lived in a pond at the foot of a hill. Two young wild geese, looking for food, saw the turtle and talked with him. The next day, the geese came again to visit the turtle, and they became very well acquainted. Soon they were great friends. "Friend Turtle," the geese said one day, "we have a beautiful home far away. We're going to fly back to it tomorrow. It'll be a long but pleasant journey. Will you go with us?" "How could I? I have no wings," said the turtle. "Oh, we will take you, if only you can keep your mouth shut and say not a word to anybody," they said. "I can do that," said the turtle. "Do take me with you. I will do exactly as you wish." So the next day the geese bought a stick and they held the end of it. "Now take the middle of this in your mouth and don't say a word until we reach home," they said. The geese then sprang into the air with the turtle between them, holding fast to the stick. The village children saw the two geese flying along with the turtle and cried out, "Oh, see the turtle up in the air! Look at the geese carrying a turtle by a stick! Did you ever see anything more ridiculous in your life?" The turtle looked down and began to say, "Well, if my friends carry me, what business is that of yours?" When he let go and fell dead at the feet of the children. As the two geese flew on, they heard the people say, when they came to see the poor turtle, "That fellow could not keep his mouth shut. He had to talk, so lost his life." The ox who won the forfeit. Long ago, a man owned a very strong ox. The owner was so proud of his ox that he boasted to every man he met about how strong his ox was. One day, the owner went into a village and said to the man there, "I will pay a forfeit of 1,000 pieces of silver if my strong ox cannot draw a line of 100 wagons." The man laughed and said, "Very well, bring your ox, and we will tie 100 wagons in a line and see your ox draw them along." So the man brought his ox into the village. A crowd gathers to see the sight. The 100 carts were in line, and the strong ox was yoked to the first wagon. Then the owner whipped his ox and said, "Get up, you wretch, get along, you rascal." But the ox had never been talked to in that way, and he stood still. Neither the blows nor the hard names could make him move. At last the poor man paid his forfeit and went sadly home. There he threw himself on his bed and cried, "Why did that ox act so? Many a time he has moved heavier loads easily. Why did he shame me before all those people?" At last he got up and went about his work. When he went to feed the ox that night, the ox turned to him and said, "Why did you whip me today? You never whipped me before. Why did you call me wretch and rascal? You never called me hard names before." Then the man said, "I will never treat you badly again. I'm sorry I whipped you and called you names. I will never do so any more. Forgive me." "Very well," said the ox. "Tomorrow I will go into the village and draw the 100 carts for you. You have always been a kind master until today. Tomorrow you shall gain what you lost." The next morning the owner fed the ox well and hung a garland of flowers about his neck. When they went into the village, the men laughed at the man again. They said, "Did you come back to lose more money?" "Today I will pay a forfeit of 2,000 pieces of silver if my ox is not strong enough to pull the 100 carts," said the owner. So again the carts were placed in a line, and the ox was yoked to the first. A crowd came to watch again. The owner said, "Good ox, show how strong you are. You fine, fine creature." He patted his neck and stroked his sides. At once the ox pulled with all his strength. The carts moved on until the last cart stood where the first had been. Then the crowd shouted, and they paid back the forfeit the man had lost, saying, "Your ox is the strongest ox we have ever saw." And the ox and the man went home happy.